So what does a constitutionally limited form of government... Well, this is what we have, actually. We have a constitutionally limited representative. We elect representatives. Democratic, we elect people by majority rule. Republic. And the core values, fiscal responsibility, constitutionally limited government, free markets. Sounds good. Sounds consistent with, I think, the perspective of most Americans. These are the three values the South Florida Tea Party has identified. Marco Rubio, is running in the Florida primary and the Republican Senate primary, and he's been getting some serious flack. It's interesting because for a while he was with the Tea Parties and now he's not with the Tea Parties, or is he? And so I just wanted to get right to the source and find out what's going on here. Pam Dahl is with us. She's the leader of the Tri-County Tea Party based in Florida's retirement community, the Villages. And Pam Dahl, welcome to our program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for being with us. I know you've injured your wrist today, and it's kind of a tough day for you. I appreciate you taking the time to be with us. The website, by the way, tri-countyteaparty.org is the website if people would like to see what's up. Pam, tell us what are your thoughts on this primary?
Well, I'm with the Tea Party, and what our main goal is to vet the candidates that are running for office, both locally and statewide, and to listen to what they have to say and then ask them questions. We believe in educating, motivating, and activating. Mm-hmm. And it's very important to us that we get the questions that we ask answered.
What are the questions that you would ask Rubio that he has not answered?
I want to know where he stands where it comes to these illegal people coming into the United States, mm-hmm. and he has not really answered that question. What
would be... there's a large Hispanic population in Florida, so that may be a radioactive question for him. What would be the correct answer in your mind to that question?
That they have to go through the legal process.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with going through the legal process. I went through it myself, and I don't see why people who come across the border illegally should have the same benefits that you or I have.
Yeah, I don't disagree. My sister-in-law just became a U.S. citizen, and it was no small thing.
No, it's not. But they've gotten rid of that now.
Well, no, they haven't. What's happened is ever since '86, when Ronald Reagan gave amnesty to 5 or 6 million people who were here on an undocumented basis, what you might refer to as illegal aliens, and then stopped enforcing laws against employers. Employers started saying, come on over, we got a job for you. And it has decimated a number of industries, and you've got a lot of people who are now being exploited by those same employers. The employers are saying, by the way, you're going to work a 12-hour day, and I'll pay you for an 8-hour day, and if you complain, I'll turn you into ICE. And that stinks, I think, to progressives as well as conservatives, doesn't it?
I agree.
Yeah, okay. So it's interesting. What are the other questions that you have for Rubio?
The other question we had for Rubio is where he basically stands with any kind of answers to the problems that our country is having right now.
For example?
Well, employment is number one.
Mm-hmm. In other words, how do we create more jobs?
Correct.
And
the government doesn't, of course.
Yeah, well, the government can create a job by hiring somebody, but I would agree with you that that's not a long-term job strategy. What we need is private industry in the United States creating jobs, but government creates the framework within which jobs exist. From 1793, Alexander Hamilton's plan, until 1980, when Reagan started unwinding this, we basically had a government policy called tariffs. We taxed imports into this country at a higher rate than things made in this country, and that's why we made clothes in the United States. It's why we made TVs in the United States. It's why we made radios in the United States. A lot of things that we could have made cheaper outside the United States, but because of import tariffs, what's sometimes referred to as protectionism, they were made in the United States. These big transnational corporations came in with Reagan and with Clinton, between the two of them. I mean, Reagan kicked off the WTO, Clinton kicked off NAFTA and GATT, and now our average tariff is only 2%. We're no longer protecting American industries. Don't you think that that's an appropriate role for government to do?
Well, government needs to lower taxes so that smaller and bigger businesses can remain in the United States. But by not lowering taxes, they're increasing them, and therefore they're sending big business out of the country.
Well, the largest beneficiaries of this offshoring are the large corporations that are paying very little tax. They're keeping their tax dollars overseas. If Hewlett Packard, Apple, I mean, you can go through the list. Many of these companies, what they'll do is, and not necessarily those two, but what they'll do is they'll manufacture a product in China through a wholly owned subsidiary, but it's a separate company. And say it's a $100 product and it costs them $10 to make, and they sell it for $100 here in the United States. And then the Chinese division sells it to the U.S. division for $90. So all the profits made in the Chinese division, they keep the taxes over there. They never pay taxes to us. I mean, there's hundreds of billions of dollars in potential tax money that's never been paid. American corporations right now, if you look at the 35 top, largest industrialized countries in the world, are paying the lowest taxes of anywhere in the world.
What does this have to do with Tea Parties?
Well, what I'm saying is if the Tea Parties want American corporations to pay lower taxes, you've already got it. Our corporations in the United States are paying, although our tax rates are higher because of all these loopholes that have been put into the law by government, arguably, our corporations are paying lower taxes than in any other country in the world. Okay,
what does that have to do with vetting Rubio?
Marco Rubio. Good question. I'm sorry, I got off on a tangent here. So let's get back to Marco Rubio. You've got Marco Rubio and Charlie Crist, right?
That's correct. We have two politicians running for office.
Right. And the dividing line between the two in your mind is what?
Well, right now there is no dividing line. I'd like to hear what the other candidates have to say.
Yeah, okay.
And that's what the Tea Party movement is all about, is finding those people that aren't necessarily backed by the Democrats and by the Republicans, but finding those other people that are well qualified to run for office, and let's listen to them.
Well, Pam Dahl, the reason for my going off on the tax screed is that my concern is that much of the Tea Party movement, we found out today, for example, that much of it has been funded by Koch Industries and the Koch brothers, KOCH, and you've got.
We're not funded at all. We are all grassroots organizations.
Well, I really, your group probably is, and many of them are, and I salute that. I think it's a marvelous thing that there is a populist movement in the United States. But when you start talking about taxes, you're really singing the song of the millionaires and billionaires and big corporations, not the average person.
That's not at all what the Tea Party movement is about. First off, people could not speak with their congressmen because they won't listen to us. So consequently, we have found a way to talk to them, and that is by organizing as a grassroots group that is nonpartisan, that don't back people.
And
we don't believe in putting the dollars into the almighty machines of the Democrats or the Republicans. We want to find candidates who believe in the Constitution, that believe that the people that elected them for the reason and will serve the people.
I'm right there with you, Pam. I'm a big fan of movement politics.
So that is what we're all about. And nobody is backing us financially.
Okay.
There is none. Nobody's backing us financially.
You might want to take a look, and this is not you and your group. I salute your integrity and your passion and wish you the very best. But you might want to
don't listen to rumors.
No, well, you may want to look into Russo Marsh and Associates, which is the Republican PR firm that's funding the Tea Party Express to the tune of over $1 million. You may want to check it out.
Totally different.